friends. Welcome back to another episode of Just Tamika. We are in season 3. This is episode 1. I hope you've had a wonderful new year. And we will be talking today with a wonderfully wise woman who is a friend of mine, a colleague, and I'm going to turn it over to her as we explore goals today. So this is Miss Janet Ruiz. Janet, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tamika. You're so kind. I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
I am too. I always have a really good time when we talk. We just have a good vibe. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I can totally go with the flow with you and just allow myself to be vulnerable with you and to just share and be in this together.
Likewise. And I want to thank you too for just helping to hold space for crucial and critical conversations. I think these are things that people don't often think about. Just the conversations that we have are usually, they excite me, they inspire me, they just get me all excited because they're not conversations that I have everywhere else. And so I want to thank you for sharing that with me and helping to just bring that to others that might, maybe not think about these things, or it just might be a good space for people to, consider and to pontificate rather, right?
Definitely. I agree.
So the last time we spoke, we were talking about goals, right? And goal setting, which, this time of year, everybody typically is thinking about, new year, new me. And Efren actually was talking about, and for those who don't know, we have a colleague who also teaches body pump and Zumba courses. And he was saying that his courses have been really full lately, but that he feels like it's, because of the new year, everybody has these goals and these resolutions. And so I wanted you to talk a little bit about what your thoughts are, some of the thoughts and things that you think help us to be successful, or how we can maybe be more successful as, and I'm relying on your expertise as a human and, as a therapist and as someone who's in schools working with young minds.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to just kind of share just based on my experience and a little bit about how I've been reflecting about goals. I think that was me in a period of my time where I would set goals back in my younger days. Focused on, physical health, but it came from a place of it didn't come from a place of love, I guess you can say, or acceptance. So, in my journey of trying to recenter myself and learn more about myself and sprinkle healing and self-love, self-compassion, my ways of thinking of goals have changed over time. And so some of the questions that I ask myself now when I set goals is one, is it something that is realistic? Is it realistic? And who can I ask for support?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think we don't always think about that, huh?
Yeah, now I feel like I'm more in a space of I'm open to asking for support and to bring along folks that I think have been able to support me throughout my journey, and I really appreciate them tremendously. And also sprinkling in some self-compassion. So if I have an extremely stressful day, and let's say my goal is, I'm going to give you a perfect example. One of my goals is to complete a half marathon this year. And it's been challenging.
So
but I have
a half a marathon, how long is that?
That's 13 point something miles.
Oh.
I forgot, 13. Yeah.
That's a lot of miles.
So last year I was able to complete a full marathon. But to be honest, I was able to have folks that supported me throughout the training. Mm-hmm. And I was able to complete it. It was hard work. but it was such a great experience.
So it was worth it, huh?
Yeah.
There's like a rom-com movie with Tatum Channing, and I can picture her face. I can't think of her name, but basically she's like this romance novelist, and she's really grieving the loss of her husband because they would write these adventurous romance novels together, and he passed away recently, and so she was really struggling with that, not wanting to really write anymore. But they had a saying, and I can't remember quite how it goes. It was in Latin, but it was like something analogous to the harder the challenge, the sweeter the victory. And I was like, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, because it really is those things that you push and you put your nose to the grindstone for, that you come away feeling so much better having accomplished, versus, oh yeah, I made my bed this morning, right? Which some days that's an accomplishment too, though, right?
Yeah, I think there's, there can be big goals and small goals, and I think sometimes even talking it out with someone else, like, hey, like, I'm thinking of this goal, what are your thoughts? But I think it's also being intentional on like who we share this with. For example, like with my goal, with my goal this year of completing a half marathon, I've shared it with my husband, and he's been very supportive. And there are days where I don't want to train because I'm just exhausted and I'm tired, and he'll encourage me. He won't he'll encourage me in a way that's supportive to me. Like, he'll say something like, let's say it's like I have to train for 5 miles that day. Okay. He'll tell me, just try one. Just 1 mile and see how it goes. And so that helps me. It's like, okay, I'm going to do 1 mile. And as I'm running, I get pumped, and I'm like, I'm going to do 2 miles,
Right.
And then towards the end, I have to kind of think about what is my purpose for, assigning this goal in my life at this time. Those are things that I kind of ask myself.
Something that you said really struck a chord to me, and you really do have to be discerning or intentional or careful who you share your goals to. Not everybody wants to see you succeed. Not everybody is going to see the value of your goal. So I think the key to success sometimes is surrounding yourself with those people who will be supporters, and not people, because there are people who are dream killers, right? You have a dream, and everything you say they have a counter or an opposite to. Oh, I'm going to run 1 mile. Oh, well, you know what? But you're going to end up with so tired and your back's going to hurt. And, it really kind of can bring you down. I don't think it's always intentional.
Right.
But there are people out there who will suck the life out of you. So I think that what you said was very important, that there are times we really need to watch who we share our dreams, our visions, and our goals with.
Exactly. And I think also asking ourselves, like, what is the intention of our goal? Like, what do we want to get from it? I think for me right now, the intentionality of the goals that I'm setting for myself are more goals that will help me in my mental health, my spirituality, my connection to my loved ones, my connection to Mother Earth. So things that, that at times that when we do feel discouraged, even writing down why did I set this goal? Like, sometimes we have to revisit that.
I was just about to say something about that, because what you're saying, I think, sounds a lot about what people mean when they say find your why. And I think that's something that, if you don't understand what that means and someone's just find your why, it can become, well, how do I do that? What do you mean find my why? And so I love that you're kind of breaking it down, because one of the things that I want most, and I think I've shared with you, is that people come away from this with a knowledge of how to do things in the real life, how that looks in real life. What are the steps? You said do this, but what does that really look like? And so I think that's really amazing to be able to kind of highlight that. And if I can circle back to something you said a lot earlier that's just been kind of spinning around in my brain a little bit. You talked about the ability to be able to ask for help. And I want to say that I think that's really important and acknowledge that it's something that's very hard. And I think especially as, well, people that can't see us probably don't know, but, as women of color, I think there are different myths and stigmas in our cultures that make asking for help a little bit more difficult, because it can be seen as a weakness, or I think sometimes we just internalize things and feel like I should be able to, right? I should be able to do this. I should be able to do that. I know one of the things for me as a woman, my mother and my grandmother, I don't know how they did all the stuff they did. I just said the Lord's not making people like he used to, because I can't do half of that without needing a nap. Like I don't know how they did it. And I'm learning to be okay with my limitations and with what's reasonable for me as part of my self-love, because I just, why am I putting on these burdens? And they're self-inflicted in my case. Like, I don't, maybe in some places, in some situations they're not, but for me, I tend to experience guilt around not doing traditional things within my role as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother. And, I tend to suffer from mom guilt, and I should do this and I should do that. I remember in my undergrad at college, I had a professor who would call it masturbating or shitting all over the place. As in, I should do this, I should do that, I must, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like you've had similar experiences, because I think we've had conversations around that.
Yes, definitely. 110%. 110%. I feel like in my journey in mental health, I had set goals, like I'm gonna go for my BA, I'm gonna go for my master's, and I'm gonna do all this. But it was coming from a place of hurt.
Yeah.
It was coming from a place of feeling that I wasn't enough. Therefore, I need to accomplish all of this. And it made it difficult for me to reach out and ask for help.
Yeah.
But I reflect back, I had a lot of wonderful people that helped me in this journey, and I'm very thankful for them. They weren't judgmental. They were very caring. They were very patient. There's different types of help. I remember, my mom was not, I think she only went to like the 5th grade. And her way of helping me out in college was like waking up at 2 a.m. to make me a cup of coffee, because she would notice that I was up.
That is sweet.
Make me a cup of coffee and say, she would tell me, like, Mija, you can do it. You can do it. Here's
squad, yeah.
Best coffee ever.
What my dad used to do for me, and it's a little trivial thing, but like it meant the world to me. He got up at like 4 or 5 in the morning to go to work, to work for our family. And when I got up for school every day, my toothbrush was already like rinsed and had toothpaste on it and waiting for me. And so even that little small thing made me feel incredibly loved and appreciated. And so I think sometimes it is the small things.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes, 110%. It's the small things that I think kind of keeps us moving forward, Like, and, now, like, when I think back, on my journey, and also, like, what my why, right? Why do I want to set this goal?
Yeah.
Who for support, and how can I support others as well in their goals?